My God, that was a funny movie. We just watched George of the Jungle, Disney, 1997, starring Brendan Fraser.
I remember loving that movie when I was a kid.
I kind of want to rewatch it.
We'll do a video. That'll be our super drunk review.
We have to get super drunk for George of the Jungle. Do you remember the shitty cartoon?
Yeah.
It was almost as bad as Exorcist 3.
Hey, today we're talking about The Exorcist 3. I like that movie.
I don't think it's really so much underrated because Red Letter Media did a video and brought a lot of attention to it. That being said, it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a good movie. It's very slow, so I can understand why.
I like I like that it's slow though, cause like modern horror movies are just like screaming and noise constantly.
Yeah, this movie is very like subtle on like the kind of violence and everything. There's really nothing violent. It's all just like
there's some pretty hardcore violence towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end, but everything else is leaving up to your imagination.
There's a lot of implied violence.
Yes.
A lot of characters explaining horrible ways for people to die.
Not showing the dead bodies, just lifting the sheet.
It usually it's I sedate you and then I take you apart piece by piece so you're aware that it's happening and then I show you what I've done. You know, like that's a horrible way to kill someone.
Yeah. All the people possessed are just slowly there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the best thing I can say about this movie is it's not a modern day horror flick. And because like the whole time we were watching this, I was thinking of that movie trailer I sent you last night about the blind guy who murders people.
Oh, Don't Breathe.
Yeah, Don't Breathe 2. So the whole time I was watching this, I was thinking about Don't Breathe 2 because the first Don't Breathe is a horror movie, right?
It's a thriller.
But it's a horror movie. It's a serial killer traps these people in this house and picks them off one by one.
Oh, no. It's about
kids who break into a house and the guy who lived there is a blind Vietnam vet who takes them apart one by one, kills each one.
Yeah, because he's holding the girl hostage in the basement.
Right.
With the little...
Horror movie.
Thriller.
Second one is him training the little girl from the girl, and he's like the hero defending his house.
Yeah, no, because they burn the house down, the little girl gets kidnapped, and he has to save her.
Exactly. So again, horror movie turns into an action movie because all horror movies nowadays are just scary action movies.
Yeah.
There's no actual horror anymore. No, like, this whole movie was about God. Like, God. Like, yeah, sure, the world sucks, but God's got your back. That's basically what the movie... Hey!
God only intervenes in little moments. We'll get to that.
He can only intervene when he can, you know?
Yeah. He doesn't like putting his foot on everything. The devil just likes being
You know what I think? It's like he's got the entire everything on his shoulders, and he's balancing, and then every so often he's like... You know, like, there you go.
The way I like to think about it is, that's probably not the only demon doing some fucked up shit.
No. So he's got a lot of shit on his shoulders. And there's other aliens out there dealing with their gods and demons that he's going to worry about.
Yeah.
God's got a tough job. Hard to be a god. Russian film. Pretty good. You should watch it.
So how do you feel about the acting in this movie?
Of course it's good.
Of course.
Of course.
Because it has the famous...
George C. Scott.
Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky.
Okay, but that's...
Which you did pick out the funny scene where they have the little redhead boy, and you're like, that looks like Chucky.
Well, it's because he goes, that's child's play. And then it cuts to a little boy that's wearing suspenders with a striped shirt and red curly hair. And I was like, haha.
He did a great job in that movie, turning it on and off between the characters and everything.
Yeah, he was a good character actor. George C. Scott, of course, is amazing in everything he's in.
I love watching him yell.
I love watching him yell. I love watching... What was it when he was explaining to the hospital guy in the very slow, like, commanding, like, okay, I'll listen, all right, I'm in for the long haul, let's see what you gotta say kind of moment. He was pretty cool.
And he just yells at him, it's like, you fucking idiot.
Starts crying and then pulls it back because he's a professional.
Well, they do a good job of basically showing him and the priest who dies, like, relationship. Like, you go to the movies and you're like,
they're buddies.
These guys are like best friends.
Yeah.
Goes to the hospital, he's like, what's wrong? All worried and shit. Then he dies, and he has to compose himself until that moment where he starts crying.
Yep. And it's all because that fucking whiny ass doctor.
Yeah.
I don't care that there's a murder in my hospital. Get all these police officers out of
You're
here.
gonna cause chaos.
What about the health of the patients? All these police are stressing them out. There's a guy killing people in your hospital. What the fuck do you mean get the police out of here?
You're a little bit more worried about
Fucking
stress.
if I'm in the hospital getting my appendix removed and a cop walks in and he goes, "Hey, someone was murdered," and then he was like, "Bye," I'd be like, "No, no, 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 you stay." Fuck that.
Yeah, they did a good job of making this hospital creepy as
I
fuck
like
too.
that they made everyone like a scumbag. Everyone's a piece of shit in this movie. Like even the person selling him popcorn, she's like, "Do you want a medium or a large?" Like she's being a
Mm.
bitch about it and shit like that.
Well, it's realistic.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And the whole movie is like showing you the worst parts of people and then being like, "But God, though."
Mm.
You know? And I like it. I
And
appreciate
it
it.
shows one of like the first actual jump scares you brought
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. The chick with the
They have
scissors.
yeah, but even before that, they had the scene where the guy goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, but that's like
I feel like people might jump more at that.
that's a misdirect though, which
Mm.
leads to the jump scare. So yes, you jump at that, but then you calm yourself down because you're like scary things over, which makes the scissor scene even more scary because you've been scared and calmed yourself down.
It's like how it was all one take too with the scissor scene.
Yeah. I like Samuel L. Jackson in this movie.
Yeah, he did. He had a good scene.
He had a great line. It was better than his scene in Coming to America. What?
And then they had Fabio.
Wait, you didn't know Samuel L. Jackson's
I
in
did. He's the guy who holds up the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this better than that. Because this one, he's got the headphones on and he's like, "The world's deaf," and you're like, "It's a metaphor." And then they keep,
That heaven scene was hilarious though.
yeah, Grand Central Station, but it's not. You know, it's angelic, but it's not.
All the friggin' angels with their white wings. Then you had that one angel who was just like seasoned. He has like the gray wings and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like it was a mixture of like a police station and a hospital. Like
Mm.
I don't know, it was a pretty as far as dream sequences go, it was pretty good.
Well, it's the police officer. What's his name?
George C. Scott.
Yeah, it's him
Kinderman.
having a dream, so it's things he remembers.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like that's what I mean by as a dream sequence, it's fucking pretty good.
Yeah.
No like ripple effect into like I'm holding a fish or any like fucking retard shit like that. Like you know who did really good dream sequences? Sopranos.
Really?
They had some fucking awesome dream sequences because they were like surreal but not surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna watch it.
I got HBO Max back, so
You better fucking watch it, please.
I will.
So you can get all my jokes. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure everyone knows the plot, so there's no reason in beginning to try and explain it. A cop is trying to figure out this serial killer, and then he figures out that it's the crazy guy who's been in the hospital this whole time, and the crazy guy is possessed by a demon.
It's a Gemini killer.
Yeah, and a few other demons because he switches voices constantly.
Yeah.
I think it's like
What was his name? The demon? Pazuzu.
well, in the first two movies, it was Pazuzu. I assume it's still Pazuzu, but they realized that that name is fucking retarded, so they dropped it and just went with Legion, which is cool because
Legion's a badass name.
Legion is awesome. Like it's multiple demons inside one body. That's why he's able to do like the retarded serial killings.
Have you ever seen Exorcist 2?
Yeah, that's the one where they go into like her dreams and her brain and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
weird glass. Like,
It was a bad movie.
hey, you're supposed to be here to calm down. Here's a really scary building. Yeah.
Ugh, that's the problem with movies back then. They're like, we have to have the atmosphere, and it just didn't work. But
Well, they were competing with like Hitchcock. They were competing with fucking Orwell. They were competing with these guys who were masters
yeah,
at like framing and stuff.
it's so weird. The Exorcist, like the trilogy. Yes, you can call it a trilogy.
It should have just been one movie. I feel like the next.
I feel like the third one should have been the second one.
I know they're based on books, right?
Yeah, the first one is at least.
And this one was based on a book called Legion.
Hmm.
So, boom.
Fuck you.
Yeah, see, adapted from Legion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's a fun little movie. We've been watching little movies.
Yeah.
What
We just did Lord of the Rings, so we're taking breaks right now.
and this is something I also want to talk about. After having like watched 12 hours of really, 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 really good movies, it makes me look at like Like the whole time you heard me when I was watching The Edge. I was like, ha, it looks like Lord of the Rings. Like every 5 minutes, I was like, ha, that looks like New Zealand. Like that's what Lord of the Rings has done to me. It's like,
It warped your fragile mind.
no, it just really like set the bar high. You know. Now if movies don't get there, it's like,
That's why we're watching George of the
yeah.
Jungle.
That's why we're watching George of the Jungle. Bring us back down. That's why we watched The Edge and Exorcist.
Fuck you, I love Brendan Fraser.
I love Brendan Fraser too.
Poor guy.
Every time I see a sad photo of him, I get sad because if he can't make it, none of us can.
I just can't believe he was such like a leading man in The Mummy and
Then
everything.
he got fucked hard in divorce court.
Ex-wife and everything. Took
And
all his money.
that's why I only fuck dudes now, because after what she did to him, I will never trust a woman again.
Makes sense.
Come on, man. That was my boy Brendan. He can't. I do love seeing photos of him. I don't know why, but when I see him in a photo smiling, I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
He's feeling good about himself again.
Because now he's got like a TV show, another one coming out. He's got a movie coming out soon.
Maybe he'll be in The Exorcist 4.
Dude, I want him to get in shape and do a new Mummy. How cool would that be?
Or do what Russell Crowe did in that new movie, get really fat. Can you imagine like a really fat, and they're like, didn't you fight the Scorpion?
He like, tries to hop over a car and he just falls.
Yeah. He's like constantly out of breath.
But yeah, Exorcist 3.
There should be a scene where he's like eating and everyone's just looking at him like, oh,
sweating.
He's just like, yes, that scene.
Just one more.
Right back in.
That's awful. Poor Brendan Fraser.
I would watch any fat person do that. I'm fat. That's why I love that show, Man versus Food. Yeah, Exorcist 3. I liked. I don't know. It was filmed by an amazing. The director of photography was a genius.
Mm.
The soundtrack was.
It was there.
It was there.
It wasn't bad.
They tried. It was kind of corny when they tried to use the theme to the first one again at the beginning of the movie, and they showed the scene with the stairs. Like, hey, remember this? Like, they showed it to you like 6 times. Like, remember, this is the big scene from the first movie. Remember? You're like, yeah, okay, I get it, dude. They pushed that cameraman down the steps. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, that fucking guy, the actual guy, stuntman, fell down the steps.
Yeah.
Got fucked up from that scene.
The priest getting peeled was pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole movie, it kind of just goes.
You just see the aftermath. You never really see that. Okay, actually, that scene where you see all the jars of blood. That's fucking brutal. That's an entire person's blood. You know.
Yeah, and the way he's explaining it to him, he's like,
not
one drop.
Yeah.
You cut off the head.
But like you see that scene first, right? You see the scene with the blood in the jars and you're like, whatever. And then you don't see the blood with the jars again. And then at the end of the movie, he's explaining to you how he did it. And you remember what it looked like. And you're like, God damn, not a drop spilled. You're right. And he was like, you got to squeeze it out of the extremities. It's like,
he's like, it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
But it gets the job done. I love the way he acted in that movie. Great. I don't know. That's the ending, though, when the priest gets thrown up to the ceiling and he's peeling his flesh off. The practical effects on that were great.
Yeah, that looked like some Cronenberg kind of stuff.
You do not see that anymore in movies.
Well, it's just easier to get a Korean slave labor to do it, you know?
It's awful.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awful. But hey, if those interns wanted to get paid, they wouldn't have gone to college. So you fucking draw this Western animation bullshit and you fucking love it.
You're going to bring this up all the time.
Yeah, because I think it's bullshit, man.
No.
Someone who really appreciates drawn shit, animation, it really bothers me.
Yeah. But anyway, The Exorcist 3.
I recommend it.
I like it. It's fun. I wouldn't even say it's one of my favorite movies. Like, it's a good movie to watch. And
it's definitely not one of my favorite movies. It's probably not even in the top 50, but if you haven't seen it, see it. If it's on TV, sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
If you're bored and you're like, I just want to throw some. It's a good background movie. Yeah. It's a great background movie because there's
a lot of dialogue and scenes where you don't need.
Yes, it's filmed in the old style where lots of mundane, lots of two people walking into a room and discussing a thing that's about to happen.
Oh, my mother, she has a fish in the tub.
Yeah.
Can't go home until it's asleep.
But that scene's great. I like that scene. I see it. It's gills.
It's like you're standing close to me. I haven't showered in 3 days.
Did you notice? Yeah, like I feel like that was George C. Scott trying to break him, make him laugh.
He kind of laughed.
Yeah, he laughed towards the end. But that was also if that laugh was fake, woo, that was a good fake. Fucking, that was really good acting. And if it was real, the fact that he was able to stay in character even though he was laughing, amazing scene between those two characters.
I will also say too, the old people pulling off the creepy in this movie.
You're just saying, I don't think old people are creepy.
I think old people are creepy, especially the ones in this movie.
I think they're sad. When I look at an old person, it depresses the fuck out of me.
Maybe they get depressed looking at you too.
Well, because they go, wait, I go.
Oh, you're like, I fought this war for that.
No, I look at them and I go, your time's almost up, and they look at me and go, you've wasted so much time. You know, it's like a mutual, just like, oh, we both fucked our lives up, huh? And then we kill ourselves.
Thanks for watching. Fanboy and the Snob talk
Big
Exorcist
pair of
3.
Scissors.
Those things are freaky as fuck, dude.
Dumb as shit, though.
Fucking works.
I know, but like dumb as shit, though.
But yeah, I'd give it probably a 7.
I'd go with like a 5. It was a movie.